Indians offense has been lying dormant for most of June. Maybe Jose Ramirez can shake them from their slumber tonight. He's batting .345 against the White Sox on the year, and he's gone deep 3 times against Chicago pitching. It's the Indians and the White Sox, game 1 of a 3-game series, coming up on Sports Time Ohio. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Trevor Bauer will get the start for Cleveland tonight, and Trevor will be making his 4th start against the Chicago team. He's beaten the Cubs twice, but he lost to the White Sox. The only time he faced him his last time out.
Yeah, but Trevor's been on some kind of roll with his pitch sequences. He's been on the strikeout binge. He has struck out 11 or more hitters in the last 4 straight starts. He's been starting guys out with his curveball, getting ahead, and in the first 3 pitches he's been 0-2 or 1-2 a lot of times, and that's where his strikeouts come. He's commanding the curveball. On the other side, Dylan Covey, he's been on a roll. He's his 3rd start against the Indians. He's 1-0. He beat Bauer in his last start. In his last 5 starts, he's 3-0. He's a ground ball machine. He hasn't given up a home run in his 5 starts. So this is going to be another good pitching matchup tonight.
What a turnaround for Dylan Covey. You mentioned he's 3-0 in his last 5, and think about this. He was 0-7 last year in the 12 starts that he made for the White Sox. We'll be back with tonight's first pitch. Alan Jensen have the showstopper coming up next, and Andre Knott has the very latest on Indians pitcher Carlos Carrasco straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. No chance. That was funny.
I don't understand that move there.
Yeah, you don't make that move during a game ever. Completely flip your body around.
Trevor Bauer on the mound tonight for the Cleveland Indians as they try to make it 2 in a row in the win column and win their first game in this 3-game set against the Chicago White Sox. Welcome back to center field along with Jensen Lewis. Sal Pulowski with you. Time now for our showstopper, and that's the American League West's Houston Astros, who have been challenged by the Seattle Mariners, but they have won 11 in a row, and they swept a 10-game road streak first time that has happened since the Indians did it last year during their 22-game win streak.
And to boot, Evan Gattis wins Player of the Week. All he did was hit 417, 4 bombs, 15 runs batted in, hit 10 for 24, scored 6 runs, and OPS of 1.423. I would say that's getting it done, but I'm sorry, Houston. You're only halfway to that 22-game win streak.
Yeah, no kidding. They've got 11 more to go. I don't know if they're going to make it.
Correct.
They lose just one, it's over.
Correct, Chase. Nice
Correct. Very good. Well done. Let's go upstairs now. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have the call on tonight's game, and Trevor Bauer, guys, he's been pitching
tater tots. Hot like tater tots.
Sounds a little windy down there, boys.
Slightly, but it is
Feels
hot.
good. We'll take it. We'll take the win.
All right, wind blowing out. Could be a good day to be a hitter. We will wait and see. We're going to get right to our injury report, brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Carlos Carrasco officially on the 10-day DL. It's a right elbow contusion. He was hit by that line drive off the bat of Joe Mauer. Tests were negative. That's the good news. Nothing broken. He'll be reevaluated, but hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, it won't be a lengthy stay on the DL for Cookie. And speaking of injuries, let's go downstairs to Andre Knott. How's your hand?
My hand is all right. Everything is going to be good to go.
No, we noticed you signing autographs. You just want to make sure you're still loose down there.
I was following that guy's lead. They were begging for me. They asked for Arch, but I told him he doesn't come down to the field anymore. He doesn't know what that looks like or feels like at all. You guys talked a little bit about Cookie Carrasco, and really the team probably has a huge sigh of relief. It looks like on Wednesday we'll find out more when he can throw. But here's Terry Francona talking about the sigh of relief that the team has had as well, knowing Cookie will be back sooner than later.
Everything came back negative. So he's got a contusion. He'll continue to be treated as a contusion. And what they'll do is they'll take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and continue to treat it for swelling and strength and range of motion. Then on Wednesday he'll be reevaluated and see it. They'll talk about when he can start to throw. But that won't be until Wednesday. He still got hit really hard, and there's some trauma.
That's our hear right sounds of the game. All things considered, we got to hear it, see it.
Yeah.
It looked and sounded awful. So I think they caught a break.
Look, it was ugly. There's no doubt about it. When that happens, sometimes it looks worse than it truly is, and we'll see. Those trainers are very good at getting the swelling and everything down in locations. Listen to that. It sounded terrible. And he went down. And I mean, it caught him flush, but as they say, it could be a lot worse. It could be a fracture or something in there. It's not. Hey, you're right. Let's hope he just misses, the 10 days or maybe a few more after that, and he'll be back. If anybody, he's been through it. This is the 3rd time now.
Yeah.
Hit in the face. He only missed 7 days in that one. He missed the rest of the year when he got hit in the hand his 2nd time by Ian Kinsler. This one, let's hope it's just a week, 2 weeks at tops.
That second one broke bone.
Yeah,
that was the problem there. This one, so far, knock on wood, everything has come back negative, and it's just a matter of letting the swelling subside and getting him back on the mound at some point.
All righty, now let's take a look at Trevor Bauer. He's going to make the start tonight for the Cleveland Indians, the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. Bauer making his 15th start. His last start was against the Chicago White Sox ball club. He got beat 3-2 by Dylan Covey. That'll be a rematch of that ball game. He pitched very well. He struck out 12 batters in that game. He only allowed 3 runs in his 7 2/3 innings, and he's beaten the White Sox 3 out of his last 4 starts. Let's see. He's been on a nice roll with his breaking stuff.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup that he will face for Rick Renteria's Chicago White Sox. Yohan Moncada will lead it off. Yomer Sanchez, he leads the league with 8 triples this year. Jose Abreu is second in doubles. Then it's Daniel Palka, Kevin Smith, Matt Davidson. Tim Anderson, the shortstop, hits 7th. Charlie Tilson, another left-handed bat, will hit 8th. And Adam Engel is batting 9th.
The Chrysler defense for the Indians has Brantley in left, Davis in center, Chisenhall over and right. Ramirez is at 3rd, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at 2nd, Alonso back in the lineup at 1st. Nice to see him back. Perez behind the plate.
Lance Barksdale will call the balls and strikes. Ryan Addington is at 1st, Will Little 2nd, Ted Barrett, your crew chief, down at 3rd. It is 89 degrees at game time, but the heat index makes it feel like 95. And we do have a pretty good breeze blowing out towards center and right center field, anywhere 15 to 20 miles an hour. And it looks like that breeze is going to be pretty steady here this evening. There are showers and thunderstorms in the forecast, but hopefully that's not till much later this evening. We are ready to go now as Yoan Moncada steps in for Chicago. White Sox are 4th in the American League Central Division, 24-46 on the year. They have lost 4 in a row. Trevor Bauer's first pitch is swung on, fouled back. And it's quickly 0-1. The Indians 37-33. They lead Detroit by 2.5 games in the AL Central. They're up 4 games in the loss column. Moncada goes right after the second pitch, and this one he lines it in the right field for a base hit. That's only his 4th hit in 26 at bats against Cleveland pitching this year.
Pitch looked like it might have been upstairs a little bit. It certainly was. It was a slider, middle of the plate, so that's what you're supposed to do with the slider. Hit it hard. He did. He gets the base hit.
Now Yolmer Sanchez. Sanchez in his last 11 games has just 6 hits in 38 at bats. And he swings and misses at the first Bauer offering.
It's the White Sox team. They're 10th in the league in batting average at 240, 13th in runs scored. They have 265. They're 11th in home runs with 73. But they do lead the league in stolen bases. They have 57. Have been caught only 14 times.
Swinging a foul back, and a little piece of the bat went flying from Sanchez. I'm not sure if it was off the cupped end. He was checking the end of the bat. No balls, 2 strikes. I mentioned that the Tigers are in second place in the AL Central. They've won 5 in a row. They're off tonight. They'll be in Cincinnati for a series starting tomorrow night. The 0-2 down and in.
I just saw something a little funny. I was watching Abreu in the on deck circle. Bat Boy was sitting there. He had him throw that spray can of Stickum. He ended up taking his helmet off and spraying it all over the top of his helmet, as well as the handle of the bat.
Yeah. That kind of goes back to, you know, remember in the 90s, Jim Thome had his batting helmet looked horrible.
Well, a lot of guys had the pine tar on your hat, but I guess this is the newest version of it with the spray instead of the pine tar rag.
The old Kramer tough skin.
Yes, sir. Put it on, and if you need a little extra, I'm surprised your glove will take your helmet off all in one fell swoop.
Bauer's 1-2 pitch. Chopped foul first base side. And we'll try it again.
Against Trevor Bauer, 6 guys have tried to steal. They have only been able to catch 1.
Moncada is 7 out of 8 when it comes to stealing bases. And he's off. Swing and a miss, struck him out, throw down. In time, double play. A terrific throw by Roberto Perez. Right on the money.
Yeah, he's had some issues throwing the ball behind the plate, but not this time. He got a swing and a miss, and it was a good pitch to throw on, right on the money. There you'll see the tag by Lindor. He wanted to make sure. He got him once, and he's going to stay after he slides past the bag and get him twice. So strike him out, throw him out, double play. That's got to help Roberto's psyche.
Jose Abreu takes a fastball for a strike. That fastball just a bit high. On the year, Abreu 3 for 26 against Indians pitching. He lines this one into left field. Second hit of the inning for Chicago.
Again, Trevor tried to get it upstairs and in, and watch. Well, that was pretty darn close. It wasn't that far off. He was able to muscle that ball. I thought it was a little more out over the plate. Got down toward the trademark. That's where you like to pitch him, up and in.
Shows you how quickly, though, Abreu can get the barrel out front. Daniel Palka looks at a curveball for a strike.
That's the one thing that Trevor's been doing very well recently, throwing that breaking ball, first pitch, strike one, get ahead of the hitters. And he's been very good at 0-2, 1-2 counts.
Came back with another one and just missed.
But this is the pitch that decides, you know, that third pitch in an at-bat when you're facing a hitter. Because if it can go your way, 1-2, now you have opportunities for strikeouts.
Swung on and missed. He came right back with that curveball again. So 3 pitches, all 3 curveballs. And ahead in the count. Palka's probably thinking he's going to see another one.
Well, he should. He's a good fastball hitter. I mean, if he can get to it, he's got a lot of power.
Bounced it, and he's able to hold up.
And that's what you can do. I mean, that's what you try to do when you get to the 1-2 count. You bounce that curveball on home plate. First inning, he's still searching for the feel. But he can command that breaking ball as well as any pitch he has.
Palka so far against the Indians has struck out 10 times in 24 at bats. And the 2-2. Slider struck him out. Second strikeout for Bauer. No runs, 2 hits, a man left. The Indians are coming to bat.
He's 26 years old, makes his 7th start of the year. He's pitched very well his last 5. He's 3-0. He beat Trevor Bauer and the Indians in his last start, went 7 innings, gave up 10 hits and only 2 runs, but got the win.
For Terry Francona, the starting 9 presented by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor leading it off. Then it's Michael Brantley, followed by Jose Ramirez, 3rd in the league in homers, tied for 5th in runs batted in. Edwin Yonderlani in the middle. Then Rajay Davis, Jason Kipnis, Roberto Perez batting 9th. Dylan Covey the wide, and the first pitch to Lindor in there for a strike on the fastball. Right back up the gut, but Anderson had him defensed perfectly, 1 away.
Check the White Sox defense. It'll be Tilson in left field, Engel in center, Polka over in right. On the infield, Sanchez at 3rd, Anderson is short, Moncada is at 2nd, Abreu at 1st, and Smith doing the catching. Covey gets a lot of ground balls, over 60% on the ground for him. He sinks his fastball. He's got a slider. The changeup he throws is like a splitter. But really an interesting story. He was a Rule 5 draft from the Oakland A's. And last year he had an opportunity in 12 starts. He was 0-7 with an ERA of 7.71, and then a different guy this year now.
Who was the guy? Remember years ago, was it Anthony Young who had that, I mean, just couldn't buy away. He was like 0-13. He lost 19 straight decisions.
Yeah.
Imagine what that does to your psyche. You're going out there, you're trying. I mean, and I know.
It happens to a few guys, but boy, you got to be tough enough, don't you?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, to keep the confidence. And
imagine a manager, you know, knowing that you can handle it, to keep giving you the ball every 5 days.
Yeah.
3-1 to count. I mean, I understand though that, you know, pitcher wins sometimes don't always equate to team success, but gee whiz, you got to have that. You need that W next to your name every once in a while, don't you?
Yes, your own mental state of mind. You certainly do, for all the hard work and everything you put in.
3-1 pitch, and a 1-hopper up the gut, and Anderson tried to Olay it, and he could not come up with it. So Brantley is aboard with a 1 out here in the 1st.
He sure did. That's the Olay. He didn't. He thought he was going to pick it, or maybe he thought he was going to catch it in the air, but it didn't get to him. Here's a great angle of it, right over the head of Covey. And yeah, he didn't get a body in. He tried to, as you said, Olay it. And that thing looked like it took a skip on him,
Sure
too.
did.
So if his body's in front of it, he can at least keep it in front of him and may have had a chance to throw him out. But it'll be a base hit for Michael.
1 on 1 out for Jose Ramirez. And the White Sox shift 3 to the right side of the infield.
The interesting thing about Covey in his 35 2/3 innings now, he is not allowed a home run this year.
Upstairs, 1-1. Facing one of the top home run hitters in the American League. 21 dingers for Jose Ramirez, 3rd most in the AL.
You know, the funny thing, we look at Jose, he's just a great hitter. We don't think of him as a power hitter. You know what I mean? His balls he hits hard, they just seem to go.
Before you said that, I was thinking in my head, we should never be surprised by anything he does. But still, the fact that he's up there among the league leaders,
yeah,
you wouldn't have expected that.
And I don't expect him to go away either, all year long.
One-two pitch hit the left, but Tilson makes the catch, and there are 2 down. Storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Trevor Bauer, 6 games with 10 or more strikeouts already this year, and he fanned for 2 in the 1st inning. And so far this year, the Indians haven't been able to get to Covey with runners in scoring position.
Well, that's where the the offense started to struggle driving in the runs with runners in scoring is in Minnesota after the first game, and that's where we went to next was Chicago.
Well, they really stalled out in this last series against Chicago. There goes Brantley, and Encarnacion swings and fouls it off. They won that first game of the series.
Right.
But then the rest of the series, it was just a monumental task to get that one hit to maybe change the course of any of those games.
Well, you see it, and we have seen it all year long with all clubs. When they've taken off and they've been able to get on good runs, their offense is booming. They're scoring 7, 8 runs a game, and they're hitting with runners in scoring position. It seems like the pitching kicks in. They score early and often.
Well, when the Indians,
but it comes and it goes,
started the season against Chicago, the first 4 games, they won all 4. They averaged over 7 runs a game. Since then, they're averaging less than 3 runs a game. So they want to try to get the early lead. That's been a telltale sign for the Indians. They're just scoring first. At home this year, they're 12-4 when they get the first run on the board. Overall, a very healthy 21-13. At home. Here's the 1-2. A little low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Encarnacion is he's a guy the Indians need to get going in the offense too. He's just 3 for his last 30.
Well, the unfortunate thing, he was swinging it pretty well before he had to leave with the ankle injury.
There goes Brantley. Pitch is low, and the throw is in to center field, and Brantley will go to third. So give Michael his 4th stolen base of the year, and the error by Kevin Smith moves him 90 feet away.
Yeah, Smith tried to throw that ball from his knees because he saw that Michael had a beautiful jump, a very good jump, and just rushed it and nowhere near the base. So it was easy for Brantley to pick it up and just cruise to third. There are 2 outs.
See how Covey approaches this. 3-2. He challenged him, but it was low. So ball 4, 2 on, 2 out. Yonder Alonso back with the ball club, back in the lineup, and we'll go downstairs to Andre Knott.
He's extremely happy to be back. He didn't want to talk on television, but he wanted to say thank you to everyone that reached out to him through letters, through Twitter, through Instagram. His family appreciates it, and he says everything should work out okay. He's just appreciative to be back here. He says this is the best place for him to be right now.
Alonso missed the series over the weekend against the Twins due to a family medical situation. But he is back, and now they've got 1st and 3rd for him, 2 down. And he swings and sends a fly ball to right. Palka is there, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 2 left. No score after 1.
Ballpark app. You can access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Kevin Smith, the Chicago catcher, leads off here in the second inning. And a ball hit to center field where Rajay Davis will make the catch. 1 down.
Batting 6 now.
Well, for Trevor Bauer, his pitch distribution, 40% fastballs. He's been going more, starting out early in the count with his curveball. Very good command with that. That's 31%. His slider, incorporating that, his cutter and changeup, and he will throw all 5. And he can control all 5 if he's on his game. We've talked to a couple scouts that have been impressed because they say that his velocity has gone up a little bit, and Trevor will tell you that himself.
The 0-1. Nice curveball. Davidson really locked up quickly in the hole. 0-2, and he's punched out 8 times in 11 at bats against the Indians this year.
Yeah, he can be pitched to. He's a very good hitter. He's a dangerous hitter. But you get ahead, you can expand his zone. If you make your pitches, you can get him to swing and miss. Much like the Polka, who hits 4th. Good power. When he hits it, the ball jumps off his bat.
There he go. I guess he held up. It was close. No appeal. And it's 2-2. It's not just the Indians that have locked him up. He has struck out 20 times in his last 10 games.
You see those 10 homers on the road. You can thank one city for that. Kansas City, where he has 7 homers.
Really has not been able to get him to chase to this point after getting ahead. Hits it off the end of the bat, and that's going to work out perfectly. Down the line it goes. He's headed for second base. And Chisenhall has it go by him, and he's going to go all the way to third. No, he didn't lost track of the ball and stopped.
He didn't even pick up his third base coach, Nick Capra.
He should be standing on third base, but he never turned around and saw that Chisenhall misplayed it.
He didn't look at his coach. He didn't watch the baseball. And the exit velo on this had to be about 50 miles an hour. It just was placed perfectly. Now, the ball beats Lonnie down off the wall. And now you got to watch his head at second base. He's staring down at the base. His third base coach is waving him over. Now watch. He doesn't even pick up the baseball. And he didn't see it. Oh well. Huge mistake there with 1 out. You could be standing on third.
Yeah. Yep. So with 1 out, Tim Anderson steps in. And that ball sails over his head. 1-0, breaking ball. The trials and tribulations of a struggling team. Rick Renneria has seen more than his fair share of that. Anderson following it back. Anderson, another guy the Indians have done a good job pitching to. He's 4 for 21 with 10 strikeouts. Swung out and missed, went up the ladder with a fastball. 1-2 pitch. Weekly tap third base side.
Yeah, you don't want to slow it down and then hang a breaking ball to this guy. The pitch before, Trevor able to throw that fastball by him. So he likes the ball down more than he does belt or above. When he hits out of that the crouch.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Third K for Trevor Bauer. That looked like the slider.
Yes, I think it was. Take a look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker, and it will be the slider. It started off the plate, and it goes just about 4 to 6 inches off the dish. He's not going to catch up to it. That one in there at 83 miles per hour.
Trevor Bauer began the day 6th in the American League in earned run average. He was 12th overall in all of baseball in ERA. Man, is he piling up the punch outs? 124 now. Only Garrett Cole of the Astros and Chris Sale of Boston have struck out more than Bauer. Charlie Tilson. He's collected a hit in 10 of his last 11 games. But he can't catch up to that high fastball, and it's 0-2. Tilson 9 of 16. 8 of his 9 hits have been singles.
Yeah, it doesn't have a homer on the year. He's got 1 double and 1 triple.
Bauer's 2-strike pitch. Almost chased it. He did, says third base umpire Ted Barrett. The crew chief rings him up. 4 Ks for Bauer. No score, middle of the second. Kipnis is due up for Cleveland. Dylan Covey into the line. And a fastball bottom of the strike zone. In off the plate. Lonnie has hit in 4 straight games. And he's gone 4 for 8 against Chicago pitching. Throwing the fastball, and he beat it right through that hole. The shortstop and the second baseman on the right side of the infield, but as they converged, neither one could get to it.
Well, he got on top of that ball, had some very good topspin. Now you see where the shortstop is, right behind the pitcher and the second baseman Moncada, and he found the hole. There's enough of them. They were big enough for Chisenhall to get it through. Second hit for the Indians.
Leadoff man aboard for Rajai Davis. Over his last 8 games, Raj has 6 hits and 17 at bats.
Remember, he's got that in the split grip, like a changeup grip before he goes into the glove, I see. That's what he's looking for. He stranded 10 base hits in his last start against the Indians. They couldn't get one with, you know, runners on base. And, you know, you throw strikes. If you don't walk anybody, you're going to give up more hits, you know, but there's times where you can get your double play ball. There's how he's holding it. It's not a fastball grip right now. It's in the split grip, and then he'll make the change when he goes into the glove.
It seems like guys who throw the split or maybe have a very good changeup, that's the grip that they always start with, maybe because it's the hardest one to get to.
Because if you get in your glove and you do it, hitters and somebody will pick it up that you're changing to that grip, I believe. It's easier to go away from it than it is to go to it once you're in the glove. You know, and those guys sitting watching you from the other dugout, they're looking for any tips that you may give away, whether you know, out of the stretch, out of the full wind up, it doesn't matter. They'll pick up something if you have a flaw or you're doing something wrong.
Sometimes it can be something as subtle as you hold the glove just a little higher or lower.
Yep.
Rajai bounces one off the gut. Off the glove of Moncada. Everybody safe. Defensively, Moncada has had his problems, and that will be his 8th error of the year. And the Indians are set up now.
Well, Moncada has not had a good season against the Indians defensively. There's a ball that's got to be made. You may not get a double play here, but you have to get one. And that ball goes off his glove and it deflects. That's their 2nd error in as many innings. And Skipper's going to be taking notes on that to talk about it after the game with him, I'm sure.
That's his 3rd error this year against the Indians.
Okay.
Kipnis bunts. Well done. And they messed it up. I don't know if they messed it up, but the communication just maybe wasn't as good as it could have been. It looked like Kobe was going to make the play, and then he got called off, but he was standing over top of the baseball.
Communication breakdown, and Skipper's going to come out and talk to these guys. Look they have a play on if he bunts, and Kobe should have just taken the ball and get the out at first base. You must get an out in a situation like that.
Sounded like Arch, he heard Sanchez call for it, and he just panicked.
You're probably right. I mean, that's why he backed off. Other than that, if you know you're a pitcher and you're going to get the ball, this is just a talking to from the skipper for everybody in that infield. Now, did they give him a hit? They gave him a hit. Okay, so you give Jason a hit. Bases loaded, nobody out. Great opportunity for the Indians. Chicago is 2nd to last in the league in errors. They now have 50 on the year.
Here's Roberto Perez. He's gone 3 for 9 this year against Chicago White Sox pitching. And he takes a pitch down low, 1-0. No getting around it. It's been a rough year for Roberto. He's 0 for 2 this year with the bases loaded. And he takes down low 2-0. A golden opportunity, I mean gift wrapped by Chicago. Right field, deep, down the line, Polka looking, it is stuck in the fence. It'll be a 2-run double and the Indians will take the lead. Roberto Perez delivers with his second double of the year. He drives in 2 and the Indians are up 2-0.
Yeah, it was hard to tell what that ball. It had to go above the padding and into the chain link down there where the fans can see it. Right down the line. Exactly what happened. So ground rule double. And the Indians take a 2-0 lead. Still second and third, and nobody out.
Lindor. High fly ball deep enough to get the run home from third. Kipnis tags. Chilson's throw towards third keeps Roberto at second. And it's 3-0 Cleveland. Give Lindor his 38th run batted in on the year. Down to Andre.
Well, you never know what'll get a player going or what'll change things, but for Roberto Perez, he's been sick as a dog the last 3 days. He even said tonight when he was going out to warm up that he still didn't feel that well, and he was drinking a lot of Gatorade and things like that. Maybe this is what changes it, because I know he's been worried about his throwing. He's been worried about just how he's played, period. Maybe this is the moment that changes things for him as he's playing with an illness right now.
Well, it certainly has to feel good, as Archie said. I mean, your confidence. You come through in the clutch, you get a big hit. Michael Brantley now trying to clean up that last runner in scoring position. Roberto will tag. He'll head towards third. The throw from Engel is not in time, and there are 2 down in the inning.
Pretty good arm out there by Engel to throw to third base.
I'll tell you one thing, the hit by Roberto Perez, for all of the Indians' struggles this year offensively, they now have 12 extra base hits in bases loaded situations, which is the most in the majors.
They're one of the best in the league in the bases loaded situations, aren't they? They were earlier. Second in the majors. Okay.
All right, Jose Ramirez is going to be intentionally walked.
Yeah.
He will be.
Okay. That's what they think about him.
And Edwin Encarnacion will be the 8th man to bat in the inning.
Here's the double by Perez on StatCast. Just under 100 miles an hour, and it was placed beautiful over that, looked like a 3-foot wall into the chain link fence where it stuck for a double. But boy, that's always nice. You get that your first.
I don't think those guys have been able to dig it out yet. They've been trying.
They can't figure out a way. You got to get some tin snips, boys, and cut the fence. That's the only chance you have unless a player gives it to you.
Good luck getting those through the metal detectors. Edwin tied up with a good fastball. Not often you walk a guy intentionally to get to the team's cleanup hitter. But the way Ramirez has torched the White Sox this year, and the way Encarnacion is swinging the bat currently, it makes all the sense in the world. There goes Ramirez, and Edwin fouls it out of plate on the right side. He's in the hole 0-2. Ramirez, they won't even throw. His 9th stolen base of the year, and now 2 are in scoring position with 2 outs.
They've got it up there now, slowly.
This could work out really poorly if that thing rolls into play, though. Down low, 2-2.
Well, we saw one come out of play there when Cincinnati was in town when the bullpens were over there in right field. If you
gotta
remember,
bring that up, Jumbo Diaz.
Yeah, when you talk about coming into play, his buddy can help him if he just sticks his fingers
He's
there
like,
and
no,
hold it.
no, I don't want any part of this. You're on your own, big boy. What are you gonna do?
Team
Bring it
effort.
all the way up to the top?
Team effort.
2-2, and he just waved at the ball in the dirt. So the inning is over, but the White Sox gift wrapped it for the Indians. A miscue by Moncada, miscommunication, and Roberto burns him. And now here in the 3rd inning, it'll be Adam Engel, then the top of the order for Chicago. Adam Engel, in his last 9 games, has gone just 4 for 31. Long way to go in the game, but what we just saw from Chicago reminds me of an age-old saying, not just in baseball but in sports. When you're a young team, when you're undermanned, when you're playing a team that on paper has superior skills, better numbers, you have to play almost perfect to win. You can't make mistakes. And you just saw what happens when you have a young team and some inexperience and they make a couple mistakes and it speeds up on you. The next thing you know, boom, you give up a crooked number.
That's where you have to have patience. You know, a lot of young players playing together for the first time, you know, and it's getting to know each other. And that's true, but you can't make mistakes against any good ball club and give them extra outs, or you got a pretty good chance to lose, even if you're a good team. But when you're a team that, you know, just starting out and learning, and this is they are in a rebuilding mode. Rick Rennery is going to see a lot of this, and I think that's why he went out to the mound in that inning, to just settle everybody down and get his point across. Look, fellas, we're better than this. Let's go. Communicate, do what you have to do.
That's foul and out of play. And look, when the Indians went to Chicago and split the 4-game series, the 2 games Chicago won, they won 3-2. And in the other game, they won 5-1. They held the Indians to just 1 run on the 5 hits, and they scored 3 in the first inning and kind of rode that. So that's how they almost have to play that type of baseball.
The 3-2 game, though, Matt. The Indians had 14 hits in that game. Chicago had 4.
Yeah, that was the game. We talked about it a lot during the game. That's when they were really in the deep throes of their can't get a hit with runners and scoring. At one point, they were 1 for their last 23.
Yeah.
And they were in that funk.
You bring up the word patience when you talk about Rick Renteria, and you guys have both brought up to me about Tito's patience. I think you remember this, Arch, and finally I talked to Tito a couple days ago about what's made him so patient in the game of baseball, and he says, Andre, you know me, I'm not patient at all when it comes to life. But he learned, he said in Boston, when he was going through whether to make Papelbon his closer or not, he waited and probably, he said, waited probably 2 weeks too long. But when he did it, and the guys on the team saw what Papelbon could do and where it led them, it made him realize that you're better off waiting a week or 2 longer on some decisions and allowing the players to make the decision rather than making it himself. So that's the biggest learning experience he's had in baseball, and how to be patient and when to be patient with certain players in certain situations.
That's an excellent point, because the baseball season is 162 games. You have an extra week to be patient. It's not like it's going to end here tomorrow.
But he said he doesn't like it, and there's nights he doesn't sleep, and there's nights he questions himself.
Well, that's why he's the manager and he gets paid the big bucks.
But think about it. How much sense does that make? If you wait until the player essentially makes the decision for you, everybody else in the clubhouse goes, oh, yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
And that's what he said happened in Boston.
If he makes the decision before that happens, then the players are going, I wonder why he did that. I wonder why he made that move. The way he's looking at it, he removes himself from the equation, and then there's no questions.
And he said that Kurt Schilling came to him when he made the decision in Boston. He said, wow. And he said after a couple saves, he says, okay, we get it. The good move. And he said that made him realize the players are paying attention to how you treat every guy on the roster, no matter if it's the 25th guy or the #1 guy.
Well, that's knowing people and trusting people as well.
The pitch to Yolmer Sanchez. Look at the guy on the hill right now. How many teams, how many managers would have had the same kind of patience that Tito has had, given the ups and downs with Trevor and some of the histrionics and things that he's gone through? I mean, he's grown, he's matured, he's learned so much. But it wouldn't have happened if you didn't have that guy behind you with all that patience.
Carrasco too.
Alonso goes to Lindor, back to Bauer, and it's an inning-ending double play. Boy, this was well executed. Perfect throws on both ends. series. It'll be Mike Clevenger against Carlos Rodon. Our coverage begins with Indians Live at 6:30. First pitch just after 7. Swing into summer on Sports Time Ohio and Fox Sports Go, presented by Click It or Ticket. Yonder Alonso leading off here in the third. A broken bat bouncer to second base. And we'll check in with Gabriela Cruz.
Everyone's favorite Sugardale Dollar Dog Night returns to Progressive Field on Friday, June 22nd. We want you to get here early so that you can enjoy the pregame over in the district. It's all presented by Miller Lite, which means the $2 beers for you and plenty of fun. We also want you to stick around postgame because we've got fireworks. It's our Women of Rock fireworks show. Don't miss out on any of the action. Be sure to get your tickets on Indians.com.
Thank you, Gabriella. Women of Rock fireworks show, huh?
Yes, sir.
A little Joan Jett, maybe.
We'll see.
Who was Barracuda? Who was that? That was Hart. Yeah.
It was about 5 guys that said at the same time. One in my ear and everybody in the booth.
I guess that was a popular number, huh?
Well, back then.
Lonnie Chisenhall, base hit and a run scored in the second inning. Indians on top 3-0. A 3-run second. Lonnie shoots it the other way, but that's going to slice foul. Oh, man. That guy made a heck of an effort. He's got the headphones on, and it almost split his hands in half. Now the 3-1, up and away. So Chisenhall is aboard with 1 out here in the third. Rajay Davis. It was his ground ball in the second that really jump-started the Indians' rally. It should have been an out somewhere, whether at second base or at first. Possibly even a double play, but Moncada never came up with the ball, and the Indians took full advantage. Rajay Davis with an 0-1 count. Chisenhall at first, and he fouls it back. Bouncing ball to short. Anderson goes to second. They'll get the force on Chisenhall. 2 down. And Rogers aboard at first, and this is always fun with 2 down. We'll see if he gets a chance to get the wheels in motion. He has stolen 12 out of 15 bases on the year.
Well, you have a 3-0 lead. You can be aggressive. Kip got the base hit to right field his last at bat.
.406 career stolen bases for the 37-year-old Rajay Davis. And a throw in the dirt. draws the throw. The way the Indians are going, why wouldn't you turn them loose? Now the ball gets away, and Rajay is going to head to second base, and he's in there safely.
Did you see what he did after that ball got away? He took off to second base, and he saw that Abreu may get it and make a throw. He veered out to get in the line of the shortstop right there so the ball might hit him. And he was still able to go in standing up. Watch how he veers out. And that's beautiful. That's heads up. Look at him. Look behind. There he goes. Right in the line. Get me in the path and make it tough for that shortstop to see the ball and catch it. So it'll be an error on Covey. That's heads up. He's got eyes in the back of his head. Third error now.
Downstairs. Ball one to Jason Kipnis. You always talk about speed and how it puts pressure on a defense, and there is the perfect illustration. Because it doesn't go in the books as a stolen base, but just the threat of Rajay stealing a base forces Covey into a bad throw. The Indians have stolen 21 straight without being caught, and he is dancing around at second. He's going to draw a throw, and he just did get the hand back in there.
Yeah, he almost got caught there.
That was really well done by Anderson, who moved in perfectly to take that throw.
Good timing, but he does get the hand back.
Jason way out in front, sitting there thinking he's going to throw me a fastball 2-0. No. Down low with the fastball, 3-1. And a base hit into right field. Rajay's coming around third. He'll be waved home, and Hawker's throw way offline. Cut off, and the Indians' lead is 4-0. Jason Kipnis delivers with his 26th run batted in on the year. And he's 2 for 2 on the night.
Well, that's a good job of staying ready by Kipnis right there, because, you know, Perez coming up next, who's really struggled this year, but he got a good pitch to hit. When he's ahead in the count, you know, you don't want to give up another one, but he makes too good of a pitch, and Kipnis burns him into right field. So he's now 2 for 2, and it's a 4-0 ball game.
Last time up, Roberto Perez shot it to right field, and he wedged it in the chain link fence. And then the kids went to work. How can we get this out of here? Finally,
easy. You call somebody over. That's how you get it.
Little help, please. Little help. Strike to the outside corner. And Roberto in the hole 0-2. Oh man, he shot for the outside corner and just missed with a fastball. 1-2 the count. You know, it's funny, he hit that ball the other way. They pitched him away this whole at bat. You would think he just keep looking out there and continue to shoot it that way. Easier said than done.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, especially Arch, looking at the defense, they're playing him to pull. They expect him to pull. But he showed in that last at bat he can stay back and shoot it that way.
Yeah, but that was in the air. That wasn't on the ground, you know. So maybe they just feel that might have been a mistake pitch. Can he hit it that way? Every hitter should be able to.
Four 4-0 Cleveland. Kipnis at first, 2 down.
Never know. Now he's playing with house money. First at bat, 3 ribs. He wants more.
Kobe's 2-2. And that low fastball misses, full count.
0-2 to 3-2 now.
Kipnis is off. And it's ball 4. So the bottom of the order setting the table and getting the job done so far here tonight. It's going to bring out the pitching coach, Don Cooper.
Well, he's walked 4 guys tonight, and they haven't played good defense. And they have 5 hits in the first 3 innings. And that's, you know.
Boy, that was a tongue lashing right
there.
there.
It was. He was challenging him. Let's go. He's seen enough over there.
Now stepping to the plate for the try, the shortstop.
Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. 2 of the top doubles men in baseball squaring off in this one tonight. Francisco Lindor also has been very good for the Indians this year with runners in scoring position, batting .339. He had a sac fly in the second. Now he bats with 2 on, 2 out here in the third. Frankie and Michael Brantley both have 11 hits on the year against Chicago pitching. Covey gets ahead of him 0-2.
Trying to get him to chase right there. Didn't want to throw him a strike. You can't blame him. He swung at that pitch the one before that. Try it again. He did.
Oh, Lindor is hit by the pitch. And now the bases are loaded again.
Looking for that phone to start ringing. Let's see where it gets Frankie at. Right in the calf. The right calf on the side of the leg. Couldn't get out of the way.
bullpen will spring into action for Chicago. But right now it's Michael Brantley. Dr. Smooth trying to turn the lights out on Chicago early. Brantley this year is 4 for 5 with the bases loaded, and he already has 2 grand slams. Big reason why the Indians have been one of the best teams in baseball in bases loaded opportunities. Low 2-0.
Covey, much different tonight. Again, he's been in trouble every inning, and defense has been horrendous here. 3 errors already for Chicago. Here you'll see the runners on the bags, and a 2-0 count to Brantley. He'll keyhole him here. Oh, he didn't. He went after that little slider.
And he's kind of upset with himself, isn't he?
He sure is. It's down and in. He gets him to swing over the top. He never chases that, especially when the count's in his favor, but he did there. Maybe tried to cheat a little bit.
Brantley sends a fly ball right field. Back is Polka, makes the catch. Middle of the warning track to end the inning. Now the Indians leave them loaded, but they tack on one more thanks to a Jason Kipnis RBI single. 4-0 Cleveland. Fourth inning. Trevor Bauer has struck out 4. He's given up 3 hits, but 2 of those came in the first inning. And he'll face the meat of the order, Jose Abreu, Daniel Palka, and Kevin Smith here in the 4th. We always marvel at the consistency and the minimalist type of batting stance and swing that Michael Brantley has. And you can kind of put Abreu in that same category. There's not a lot of moving parts. He's very balanced at the plate. And when I think of balance, I think of Brantley.
Right.
But Abreu, like Michael, seems to square up his fair share of pitches. He's got more power, but he also hits for a high average too.
Great foundation right there, and he uses the whole field as well. He's not a pull hitter. He doesn't try and hit, although he's very powerful and he can shoot it the other way. You know, he'll hit his 30 home runs, but you know, he'll take his chance every once in a while, but he's a good hitter and he knows how to drive in runs.
Pop back out of play.
You know, driving in runs is like a mentality. You know what you're doing. Sometimes, even though you're making it out, you don't have to hit for a high average. If you want to get that runner in, you'll go off the plate to try and get a base hit, or if they're going to give you a ground ball or something to get that run home. There's certain hitters that can do that. Not everyone can do it.
He socks that one high in the air to left, but no depth to it. Brantley makes the catch. We go to Al Pawlowski for a game break.
All right, Matt, Rick, an interesting doubleheader today. Washington and New York. The conclusion of a game that started on May 15th today in Game 1. Juan Soto launched his home run, his 6th of the year, but it happened in a game before his Major League debut. His Major League debut was May 20th. This game started on the 15th, and then he hit a home run in it.
That's funny.
So the Nationals win it thanks to Juan Soto in a game before he was even called up, fellas.
Oh, boy. Go back to that box score. He wasn't even there.
They're already in the middle of Game 2. Yankees are up 3-2 in the second half of that doubleheader, and the Nationals just made a big move. Maybe the first shot fired in the trade deadline moves. You know, we're still a month and a half away from the trade deadline. But Washington needing bullpen help, and they've been poking around. And you know, the big question is, and this is easy when you're a fan, make a trade, make a trade. But what do you have to give up?
Right.
And when you have prospects, those are your assets. You can either stockpile them and use them in trades, or you're stockpiling them to rebuild for the future or to plug holes when you lose guys in free agency. So, you know, those sometimes people are like, just trade them, go get that guy. But you can't just give away the farm, as the saying goes. And so the Nationals did give up 3 prospects to get Kelvin Herrera from the Kansas City Royals. Now, that's a big move because the Royals closer was on the market. I think a lot of people expected him to be dealt, and the Nationals got him for outfielder Blake Perkins, third baseman Kelvin Gutierrez, and a right-handed pitcher by the name of Johans Morel. But according to reports, they didn't have to part with any of their top prospects in their organization.
Well, he's a free agent. Herrera is at the end of the year as well, so you know that's one reason why. Because you know he's not guaranteed to sign with Washington in the offseason. And there are a lot of teams his name was talked about, but he's off the market. And he's a good one. So when we go to Kansas City on our next road trip, we won't see him.
And the Royals are at home tonight, just underway against Texas, down 1-0 in the first inning. And Kansas City has lost 6 in a row, 22-49 on the year. Only Baltimore has a worse record in all of baseball. Up high, Bauer misses. It's 2-2. Bauer strikes out Kevin Smith looking. A half-dozen Ks for the Indians right-hander. Chicago goes 1-2-3, and the Indians are up 4-0.
by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
4-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the fourth inning on a warm and muggy night here in downtown Cleveland. Game time temperature right around 90. Heat index has it in the mid to upper 90s. Thunderstorms expected later tonight. Jose Ramirez, Edwin Encarnacion, Yonder Alonso here in the bottom of the fourth. Ramirez flied to left in the first. He was intentionally walked, stole a base in the second. And Dylan Covey, he's been flirting with the bottom of the strike zone a lot tonight, but he's been just missing most of the time. And that's had him behind in a lot of counts.
Yeah.
And the Indians have been able to take advantage of some sloppy defense.
Well, 4 walks too. 4 walks, only the 1 strikeout. He was 3-1 in strikeout to walks coming into this game, so he just doesn't. He's a tick off.
Ball 4. Indians get their leadoff man aboard. This was the error on the catcher, Kevin Smith, in the first inning. Then in the second, Yohan Moncada booted one.
Yeah, that possibly could have been a double play ball. This goes as a base hit, but it's a communication breakdown where Kobe is the pitcher. Now there's your third error right there.
And that directly led to a run because Jason Kipnis drove him home with a base hit, the next batter. Boy, Edwin just looks like he is a mess right now at the plate. He walked in the first. He struck out on a pitch similar to that one to end the second inning. 3 for his last 31.
Yeah, he's not right up there. It just doesn't feel comfortable. You can tell.
Do you think, hypothetical question, do you think it's a wake-up call at all for a guy of his stature when they walk a guy in front of you to get to you, as they did the last time when he was up?
It makes sense. We showed you the numbers at the top of the show: 345, 3 homers, and 6 ribbies against him this year. You're not going to pitch to a guy like that. So yes, it should wake him up. He's been around long enough. He knows. That's why he's hitting fourth. Hey, look, he may not hit for a high average, but he can hurt you with the long ball and drive in a lot of runs in a short period of time. And if teams want to go to start pitching to him, it'll wake him up. He's been around the game too long not to. He's been one of the best long ball hitters going.
Anderson had trouble getting it out of his glove, but they do get the force at second, barely on Ramirez for out number 1.
They may take a look at that, but it was close.
Anderson had just a slight bobble, and sometimes that's all it takes.
Well, and he's backpedaling too. See, going back, and that ball almost slipped out of the glove. But yeah, I think they do get him.
So 1 down. Encarnacion at first, and Yonder Alonso to the plate. He's been anxious tonight.
Yeah, for a guy that's had 6 3-ball counts on the night, there's no need to be anxious here. And he's had 4 2-0 counts.
Takes the ball in the dirt.
You know, I could see his first at bat coming back. You get a little anxious. He had an opportunity in the first inning and hit a line drive. Second at bat, though, he was leading off the inning and swung at that first pitch. Yeah, back in the third, right.
Hit hard, but Anderson will go to second to get the force there. Back on to first base. It's a double play to end the inning. 4 complete. Cleveland 4, Chicago nothing. Ball is brought to you by the 2019 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Chevy Network dealers. Visit clickchevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Four 0 Cleveland as we roll to the fifth. Six, 7, and 8 hitters due up for Chicago. Matt Davidson will lead it off. Davidson doubled in the second inning. He basically put the ball in play with 2 strikes. And it was perfectly placed just over the first base bag and right down the line. Well, it didn't hit it hard. Did you get a StatCast
67
exit?
miles per hour.
There you go. But it goes back to that age-old dilemma. In maybe not age-old, but now with the advent of statistical analysis, putting the ball in play gives you a chance. You strike out, you have no chance. Put the ball in play, well, maybe it finds a hole. Maybe you bleed one over the bag at first.
Yeah.
Maybe they kick it around on the infield.
He had a chance, if you remember, to get to third base.
Now,
That's
that
when
was
the
his
ball
own
got.
mistake,
Yes,
yeah.
it was when the ball got by Chisenhall in right field. But
now, once you put the ball in play, you're on your own. We can't help you anymore.
well, that's true. You are on your own when you have to run the bases.
Swing and a miss. Trevor Bauer strikes him out. That gives the right-hander 7 Ks on the night, and he has fanned 3 in a row.
Well, get a look at the strikeouts. We've been showing a lot of these lately. It was a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Then a nice slider down and in. Another slider away to the right-hander. A curveball in the dirt. And you can see, I mean, his breaking stuff is wicked. And he gets to that by spotting that fastball that's in the mid-90s. And he's turned into a strikeout machine. He really has.
I'd have to say that the hard work that he put into developing that slider is really now starting to pay off.
Right.
And you're starting to see it because it's given the hitter one more thing to look for. He just tied him up with some serious heat.
He's got 129 strikeouts now. Leader is Cole with 130.
He's right there now.
But you know, we always say it takes a while for a pitcher to get in here and feel comfortable and know what he has to do, and it's not easy coming up into this league and pitching every 5 days, facing you know, somebody different, or facing a team in this situation back-to-back time. He's been great. He's improved every year, and he's continuing to get better.
Had him really way out on his front foot, and Ramirez with a good throw. 2 down. What have you seen, Andre?
Well, I see a guy that's confident and knows what he's doing and knows how he's going to attack these hitters. After his last start in Chicago, he was a little perturbed. He wasn't happy. He thought he should have won the game, but he knows that's how it works. He was told that he had tied an Indians record for having 4 games in a row with double-digit strikeouts. Someone asked him if he was happy about it. He looked around the room and he says, well, what's the record? Because that's what I'm going for.
Well, it's 5 with Kluber. Kluber's done it twice.
And he's well on the way to doing it, and he thinks he's going to do it.
Well, I would not bet against him, I'll tell you that.
But you two know how athletes are. They get to a certain point in their career where they believe in themselves and it all comes together. I think we're starting to watch that with Trevor right now.
Yeah, and you know what, though, we talk about this too, though, with a guy like Mike Clevenger, who's starting, you know, to get an opportunity to pitch in that rotation, and he's starting to learn. But it's going to take him a couple years to get to this level where this guy had to work to. He's going to have to work his butt off to get to where he's where Bauer's at.
Foul down the right side. That's why you truly marvel at the rare exceptions, the guys that come out of nowhere and just take the league by storm. You know, back in your day, Mark Fidrich or later Fernando Valenzuela, these guys just, where'd this guy come from? And all of a sudden, they shoot right to the head of the class.
But how long do they stay?
True.
That's.
Oh, Alonso with a misplay at first. And an error will keep the inning alive. He won't have many easier plays than that one. It just kind of ran up his arm.
Well, you just roll over on it, and it takes a hop, and it goes, yeah, off the heel of the glove. That's all. He hasn't been out there in 3 or 4 days, and it got him. So the error on Alonso will keep the inning going.
Adam Engel, the batter.
Trevor's going to try and pick him up.
Engel grounded out his only time up. And this is a guy that the Indians have really had tied up. He's 3 for 24 against Cleveland pitching and has struck out 10 times. And Bauer gets ahead of him 0-1.
Now you know what right-handed hitters have to face when they come to see Cleveland. You know what? He's not the only one.
Oh, no.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. You go up against a series, and this is the White Sox playing the Indians for 7 out of the last 10 days because we were in Chicago for 4. He's probably saying, all right, it's time to move on. Let's go back to some other teams I like to hit against.
There are at least 4 hitters in the White Sox lineup tonight that have struck out 10 or more times against the Indians this year. So, I mean, yeah, they've.
But you know what? As they look upon it now, who cares if you strike out? It's just like grounding in to an out. You know, you're just an offer. But it can be that way. They have a staff that can punch you out.
Fly ball right field. Routine for Lonnie Chisenhall. And the error does no damage. Halfway through, Cleveland 4, Chicago nothing. Due up. Pulls it foul. And it's quickly 0-2. Dylan Covey trying to gut his way through this one. It was ugly in the second. It was ugly in the third.
You know, this could be a very good learning experience for him. You know, if you can work your way through 5 innings, give your manager, he'll appreciate it because he has struggled. His defense has been bad, and he's had to really work his way through it tonight, but it's still a 4-run ball game. Not that, you know, it could have been much closer, let's put it that way. And he hasn't been at his best. So it's something to build on for a young starter in his first full season at the big leagues.
And I would have loved to have been a fly on the mound when Don Cooper went out there. Was it just last inning after he walked the leadoff man?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a stern talking to, and maybe it was a look. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Get up here, get after it, take care of business, and he responded in a big way for him. Sometimes you're right, Arch. You know, when you're an athlete, or I guess it could be any walk of life, you think the learning moment when you make that quantum leap or that big step forward is out of a successful turn of events.
That's
but
where everybody's
sometimes it's when you're getting your face kicked in and you realize, hey, I can do this.
It's more times when you fail is how you learn than when you succeed. When you succeed, you don't think about anything. Everybody's, you're the greatest thing. They don't think of the little things that go into it. When you fail and you have to build upon that and understand why this happened, and you got to go from there, that's what makes you a better player. You know, people think, no, that's when you see, when you're going through your tough times, adversity is when the ball players stand out, the good ones.
Our mid-game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Well, the Indians pounced on some mistakes in the second inning, and with the bases loaded, Roberto Perez lodged a ball up against the fence for a 2-run double. They would score 3 in the inning, thanks to a Frankie Lindor sac fly, and then in the third, Jason Kipnis, an RBI single, taking advantage of another defensive miscue. That plated Rajay Davis, and Trevor Bauer has pitched 5 shutout innings, striking out 7. Jason Kipnis is 2 for 2, an RBI and a run scored. There's a long fly ball, right center field, Engels out of room, it's out of here. Jason Kipnis torturing his old hometown club, the White Sox. He has a perfect night, 3 for 3. It's his second home run this year against the White Sox.
And it's the first home run Dylan Covey's given up this year. So Kip having a night, and I'm sure that dugout very happy, and I'm sure he's happy, but he put a good swing. They wanted that slider in. I believe it was a slider, and he's able to turn it around and leaked out over the plate. So it makes it a 5-0 game. That was a 2-seam fastball, I'm told.
It's the Indians' 100th home run of the season. They have hit the 3rd most in the league, behind the Yankees and Red Sox. Boy, remember early in his career, it seemed like every time we'd go to Chicago, he'd have a big game. Yes. Every time they'd come here, he'd have a big game. No surprise that he's doing it once again against the White Sox here tonight. Left-hander Hector Santiago getting loose.
Code red out in that bullpen now.
Roberto pulls it foul. The question is, did you order the code red?
No, I did not order the code red. Very good.
$5-0 Indians. And Roberto slowly chops it foul.
Look at the swing from Jason Kipnis on his 5th home run. 100 miles an hour, 400 feet.
You know what? It kind of reminded me of the home run he hit in Detroit that won that game against the Tigers. Remember, it was right center field. He hit it over the deep.
Yeah, that was he put a good swing on that ball. He wanted to go inside, and he didn't quite get it there.
He did not go. 2-2. The 3-2. Then a foul back. This game beats you up. It chews you up. It rubs your face in the ground. So if you're Jason Kipnis, you have a night like this, you've got to smile and enjoy it and soak it in for the moment, right?
Another game, the bottom part of the lineup's doing their work, man.
Yep.
They're scoring. You know, the top of the lineup, that they've struggled offensively, and it's nice to see some of these guys come through and help out. You have to do it. Take the pressure off some of those guys.
All 5 runs have come from the 6 through 8 spots.
Gomes hit a bases clearing double yesterday. Today it was Perez's turn.
And here in the 5th inning, Jason Kipnis continues his night. 3 for 3, and his home run makes it 5-0 Cleveland. Bieber got his first major league win. Did a nice job. And it was a day the Indians, look, they needed a good start. Needed to get out of there with a win to avoid being swept.
Well, they faced the 2 best pitchers that the Indians have, coming into it was Kluber, Carrasco, and they scored a boatload of runs, and they were able to hold them down yesterday.
Dave Wallace making a guest starring appearance in the Indians dugout tonight. In there for a strike. Let's go down to Andre.
Yes, Adam Plutko after that start will be moved now to the bullpen. He will not make another start. The team doesn't need a 5th starter until the 2nd game in St. Louis, which he most likely will start now. I saw Dave Wallace in the dugout before the game, and I took a glance. He's so big and in such good shape. I thought he was one of the new draft picks. He looked at me and he said, "Man, I would do anything to take the signing bonus if they would let me."
Wally was a terrific collegiate player. He was a 2-sport star in college. He played football and baseball. The quarterback. There is Shane Bieber. And there is Yohan Moncada striking out. That's 8 Ks for Bauer.
Well, you can see out of the zone and gets him to chase. You're just going to bounce it almost on the plate. It gets right down, and there goes Perez to get it, and he couldn't check his swing. Great spin on that curveball by Bauer.
Yolmer Sanchez 0 for 2 has struck out, grounded into a double play.
He's getting into that rhythm that we so often see Trevor in. Once he gets through that first inning or so and he settles in.
Kipnis makes a nice play, 2 down. Our player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. First 80 games against the Indians. Jose Abreu with 17 home runs. Only Frank Thomas has hurt him more.
The big hurt. Funny, Tomey's name's in there.
I know, that just seemed weird, didn't it? Like
that popped up out of nowhere, and he didn't play that long.
That
with
can't
the
be
White Sox.
right.
Oh yes, it can.
You mentioned before that Trevor Bauer has struck out 8. It gives him 129. He's one behind Garrett Cole of the Astros, but Garrett Cole is pitching tonight for Houston. Heck of a play by Lindor to take care of Abreu. And the White Sox go 1-2-3. Trevor Bauer rolling along here tonight. Your first drink. That's right, it's on us. It's only 15 bucks, so grab your friends, come on down, catch a game from the corner in right field or the drink rails in left. It's a great time. You can only get these tickets online at Indians.com/district ticket. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made after 5 innings. Rick Renneria goes to Hector Santiago. Dylan Covey goes 5. He only allowed 6 hits, but the Indians scoring 5 runs on him here tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't his best start, that's for sure, and it was his 3rd one against the Indians, but he battled and had to work his way through 5 innings.
Hey, everybody's different, and I bring this up because Trevor Bauer's on the mound tonight, and we know he likes to get his warm-ups in before he throws his first official pitch of an inning. Hector Santiago walked all the way to the mound and threw 3 warm-up pitches before.
I was watching. Well, you know, some guys, that's all they need. He was warm, though, coming out of the bullpen.
Well, first 2 pitches seem to prove that, Arch.
Kind of wonder where Andre was going that when he started.
What's that?
When he started out with the whole, you know, everybody's different kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe he should have taken 12.
Dylan Covey, by the way, the 5 runs, 4 were earned, but that doesn't seem right tonight, does it? Seemed like that he should have been given more credit than that.
Well, it was just one of those games.
Though one of the errors that led to a run directly was his own error. Michael Brantley, once again, his dad Mickey in attendance. Watching his son, almost saw him hit his 3rd grand slam of the season back in the 3rd inning. Michael sent a ball to deep right field. Palka was on the warning track right in the middle of the track when he was able to make the catch. There goes Lindor, and Brantley fouls it back. There's Mick. There's a foul ball off to the left. And it's 0-2. Don't try and talk to the man while his son is at the plate. He's concentrating. Lindor draws a throw. He's stolen 9 out of 11 on the year. Sharing that knowledge. He loves to talk the game, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Well, former player, he's got a son that plays. Why wouldn't you?
But he's one of those guys, and I know Andre spent time with him. You're around Mickey Brantley for 5 minutes. You walk away energized.
I think the little kid's learning some stuff he's never heard before. No, Mickey is great. He was fun to talk to. And when you get done with the interview, he still has more to tell you.
Oh, sure.
But he takes hitting serious. He watched every guy on the team take batting practice and pointed out little things, little pointers to me or anyone else that would listen as he sat up there. But it was a cool experience for me, to say the least.
Yeah.
Well, he coached in the big leagues, so he wants to share the knowledge.
Brantley smashes it off the glove of third baseman Yolmer Sanchez, who for some reason thought the left fielder was going to run all the way in and grab that, and then he realized, I better go get it. And Lindor stops at second on the play.
Now there's a smash. It's going to be a base hit. I mean, slashed off the left-handed bat as a third baseman. Yeah, he thought it was going to go far enough where he comes in. He realized how deep he was. He says, I better go get it. So base hit. So Brantley with another base hit tonight. Another multi-hit game for him.
So 2 on, nobody out, and Jose Ramirez to the plate. He's already walked twice in the game, but this time they didn't really have anywhere to put him. They don't have an open base. They could walk him and load him up, but that would not be a wise decision either.
They need outs. You got to go at him and make a pitch right here. He started with the walk to Lindor, then a base hit. And I'll tell you what, the White Sox bullpen has been pretty good for him this year. They have the best bullpen in the Central Division. They're rated 7th in the league as far as their bullpen relief goes at .379 earned run average. And I'll tell you, Kansas City's in last, Cleveland's in second to last, Detroit is third to last, and Minnesota is 5th to last. So the Central Division, the bullpens have struggled. I feel this wind blowing.
Well, it's changed. I was just going to mention it to you, Arch. This is rare that you see the wind turn around like this in the course of a ball game.
Look at it. Knocked that ball down.
Sure did. And Lindor hurries. He gets in there safely, and the bases are loaded. The wind was blowing straight out the entire game, and in the last 5 minutes, the wind, it stopped on a dime, and now it's blowing straight in.
Well, that's coming in off the leg then, so I don't like the looks of that. But this ball knocks it down. Tilson in left field. I'll tell you, Frankie was almost thrown out at third base. He didn't slide. He had to get in there in a hurry. That was close.
Yeah, those flags were blowing straight out all night long, and now they're blowing straight in. So they're loaded with nobody out for Edwin. He is 0 for 2 tonight. And he takes just outside ball one. One of the best teams in the majors in bases loaded situations, and they've had their fair share of opportunities tonight. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Back in the second inning, Roberto Perez hit a 2-run double with the bases filled. Michael Brantley flied out to the warning track with the bases loaded to end the third. Now they're loaded here in the sixth. Team batting average of .333 on the year with a bases filled, and that's in the dirt. 2-1. Edwin got the fastball right there and fouled it back, and that probably tells you all you need to know about where he's at right now.
He's been like this for 10 days, 2 weeks.
Normally this pitch is.
When you get a fastball and it couldn't have been any more down the middle of the plate than right there.
Swung on and missed. He threw it right by him. Santiago gets the strikeout, 1 down.
Comes right back with another fastball. This one a little more on the inner part of the plate, and he swings through it. Out number 1.
Well, that brings up Yonder Alonso, who is 0 for 3. We've stayed dry all night, but the weather pattern appears to be changing minute by minute. Alonso takes a strike. Bases loaded, 1 out. Indians leading at 5-0. And that's outside to even the count. And that's outside. 2-1.
It's like Santiago wanted that pitch. So a little tilt of the head out there.
On the 2-1. And Alonso bangs it foul up the first base side.
Brady made a play in Chicago like this on a ball like that. Man on second base, he stepped on first and threw to third. He was going to try to do the same thing here. Step on first and throw home. But it was foul.
And the count is 2-2. Lindor at third, Brantley at second, Jose Ramirez at first. And he's down on strikes. So back-to-back Ks with the bases loaded, and now it's left up to Lonnie Chisenhall to try to blow it open.
He elevates the fastball here. They wanted it in. It actually ran out over the plate. You see where Smith was sitting. It looked like he wanted it up and in, and that thing missed by as far as if that's where he really wanted it. It went away, but he gets the swing and the miss.
This is one of those situations where if you were down a run or two, you'd be gnashing your teeth right now. It's a little easier to swallow up 5-0. Boy, when you've got a chance to really knock a team out, it's painful to not take advantage. The 0-1. Just a bit high.
Well, Rick Renteria is hoping that they can put that knockout punch on. He can get the final out here. If he does, that'll be a Houdini act by Santiago, especially going through 4, 5, and 6 of the lineup.
And he took a strike on a fastball. 2-2. Lonnie 1 for 2 on the year in bases loaded situations. 2-2 offering, up and away, full count. So everybody will move on the 3-2 pitch. And this crowd sweltering through a warm evening, trying to make some noise. There they go. 3-2 pitch, fouled back out of play. Again, it's Lindor at third, Brantley at second, Ramirez at first. And now Santiago backs away. Upstairs, ball 4, another run is in. 6-0 Cleveland as Lindor scores. Brantley to third, Ramirez to second, and out comes Rick Renteria.
He's already made the call.
So we've got a timeout for another pitching change. Hector Santiago walks 2 in the inning. Made almost 30 pitches here in this 6th inning. And we'll be right back.
Coming up this season with a promo pass for an additional service fee. Promo passes ensure that you'll get your item no matter what time you arrive at the ballpark. Visit Indians.com/promo pass for the details.
Juan Minaya is the new pitcher for Chicago. And a foul back. Rajai Davis has scored 2 runs already tonight. And including tonight in his last 9 games, he scored a total of 6 runs. He didn't get a stolen base back in the 3rd inning, but it was his speed that forced an errant throw that got him into scoring position and led to a run in that 3rd inning. Bats here with the bases loaded and 2 down. And Juan Minaya's 1-2 pitch is fouled out of play. If you missed it earlier today, the Indians activating Yonder Alonso from the family medical emergency list, and Greg Allen was sent back to AAA Columbus. The 1-2 and a foul back. Rod staying alive. You think about it, I mean, all the guys that have come back from being hurt, Tyler Naquin, he's got an 11-game hitting streak that dates back to when he was injured before. Lonnie Chisenhall is now hitting 5 in a row. He did not go 2-2. So Tito has to be thrilled that those guys have been able to step right back in and be productive.
Absolutely. Bottom part of that lineup has been productive recently. And it had a chance to be productive. The top part had a chance to be productive, but now it's still rolling over to the bottom part because they're walking a tight line to try and get out of this inning right here. This could be a much bigger score than what it is.
Bases loaded, 2 down. 2-2 count for Rajai Davis. And he strikes out to end the inning. Tribe tacks on a run through 6-0 Cleveland. buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Well, the Indians are on top 6-0, and as we move to the 7th inning, Trevor Bauer has struck out 8 Chicago batters. He's given up just 3 hits, but has not allowed a hit since the 2nd inning. Daniel Palka has struck out twice tonight, but he's ahead here 2-0. Trevor misses again, down low, 3 balls, no strikes. And how about that? He walks him on 4 pitches. Just the 2nd walk issued by Bauer here tonight. FIFA World Cup action continues tomorrow. It's Colombia versus Japan at 7 a.m. on FS1. Over on Fox at 10 a.m. Poland takes on Senegal. And then Russia and Egypt battle at 1 o'clock on Fox. You can also stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Kevin Smith 0 for 2 as flied out struck out. It takes down low, ball 1. Smith came in riding a 9-game hitting streak, 15 for 34. And all of a sudden Bauer can't throw a strike, and Roberto says, let's go have a chat.
Well, he was locked in there, and not that they had maybe that long inning, a little delay, stall tactic, trying to get back into the strike zone.
There's a good fastball in there.
Smith was recalled back from AAA, about 12 games ago or so, but he's hitting all 9 that he has played in.
Yeah, he's not going back. He's like,
is right. He's offensively has been very good for him.
Right field, playable for Lonnie. 1 down.
Well, the Tribe will take on the Tigers Saturday, and 12,500 fans will receive a batting practice jersey courtesy of Discount Drug Mart. Get here early, go out to the district. You can stay after the game. There will be a fireworks show. Go to Indians.com for your tickets.
One on, one out, Matt Davidson. He doubled in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. What's been great about Bauer tonight in particular is the efficiency with which he has worked. 15 pitches in the 1st, 16 in the 2nd, 14 in the 3rd, 15 in the 4th, 11, then 9.
Yeah, you stay right around that 15 mark and you're golden for 7. Solid 7 to get you around the 100 pitch mark.
He's behind Davidson 2-0.
And you have to be efficient when you're striking out 8 or more batters a game, and he's done it for 4 straight games, double digits. So you have to be pretty efficient if you're getting swings and misses.
Foul back. White Sox came out swinging in the 1st. Yohan Moncada started the game with a base hit. Then after a strike him out, throw him out double play, Jose Abreu singled. Since then, they're 1 for 18 against Bauer. But as he approaches the 100 pitch mark, he's in danger of walking his second man in the inning. Right on the nose, he drills it to center, but Rajay runs it down, 2 away.
Head back now for Chicago. Shortstop, Tim Anderson.
You know, pitchers do get a chance to sit and rest. Obviously, he's had quite a bit of time between innings with the way the Indians have been going about their at-bats tonight. But I often wonder on nights like this, when it's this warm, when you haven't really had to deal with the heat and humidity like this very often, if it does take a little something more out of a pitcher than normal. After the leadoff walk, Bauer gets 3 fly ball outs. He's pitched 7 shutout innings here tonight. Stretch time in Cleveland, 6-0 Cleveland. In the second inning, an RBI single in the third, and then kaboom! His 5th home run of the year in the 5th inning.
Giving us his 14th multi-hit game today, his second 3-hit game.
Pop up. And this is going to get out of play.
Yeah, that wind's pushing it out.
Well, you know, I mean, look, the season, as we know, has its ups and downs. Jason had a really brutal first month of the season. He's been trying to dig himself out ever since. And over the last 19 games now, he's batted at a .284 clip. He has scored 9 runs. He has driven in 10 over that time. It's almost like you've just got to, as you say, play with blinders on. Don't look at the numbers and the scoreboard. Just keep plugging away, and eventually you get to a point where you're just swinging the bat better and feeling good about yourself. And
you're going up there to see the ball and hit the ball, not worry about anything on the outside coming in.
One down for Roberto Perez. He is 1 for 2, his 2-run double. That was the fire starter tonight. Bases were loaded, nobody out, 2nd inning. He slammed one to the wall and right, and the Indians were off and running. Nothing into the count. Just off the outside corner with a good fastball. 96 miles an hour from Juan Minaya.
This guy can throw strikes. He can be tough. His problem is he can get erratic.
Good. Rain beginning to fall here at Progressive Field. 2-2. But as the saying went in Caddyshack, the heavy stuff's not supposed to come for quite some time.
I hope you're right.
This is just there's a little teaser.
Let's hope it is, because once it comes, it's supposed to stay around for a while.
A little low, full count. And a payoff pitch. And Roberto drills another one. Deep right center field. It is off the wall. Roberto will head for second base. He'll have to hurry, and he's going to be safe. The ball was not caught by Anderson. And so Roberto's got himself another double. Second of the night. Polka almost ran it down in right center field.
He sure did, and then made a good throw into second base. Look at that ball, hits off the wall, and then he's got a good arm. Angle comes into play, and watch the throw right there. It beats him. If he holds on, Anderson has it. He should be out, but he couldn't hold on to the ball, so he slides into second base. It'll go as a double.
Another good swing, staying on the ball. Lindor walked and scored his last time up. Looks at a pitch up and away. Tom Bochenek seems to think seeing a lot of pitches has helped Perez tonight. He's seen 6 pitches per at bat on the night. Wow, it's coming down pretty good right now. The crew chief, Ted Barrett, is looking into the photo pit adjacent to the Indians dugout. That's where Brandon Kankey, the groundskeeper, I believe, is. Wow. Pretty much a downpour right now.
Brandon's not over here.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
No, I think it's got 2 of the grounds crew guys with me. That's it. I don't think they expect him to come down this hard.
Whoa. Well, eventually Ted Barrett may have to take matters into his own hands. Jensen and Aller trying to stay dry. Good luck. And now time is called as Lindor steps out.
Yeah, as soon as that wind shifted, it started, you could tell something was brewing.
Lindor fouls it off. And now Ted Barrett said, all right, that's enough.
Well, yeah, you're starting to see a little shine on the infield.
So the grounds crew was going to have to hurry.
Where are they?
I don't even see them.
I don't either. Nowhere in sight. Here they come. Open the gates.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, it was just an all-out downpour. And I think they were hoping that maybe they could just kind of play through it. But eventually Ted Barrett said, all right, this is getting to be too much, so let's get the tarp out.
Yeah, you're right. Look at the infield now before they put that tarp on. They're going to have to do some work when they do get it off. You're starting to see a little shine to it. They don't wait, boy. If you're on that ground screw, you better hurry and get in position or you'll be under it.
Well, the Indians have a 6-0 lead. It is an official game at this point. But the forecast tonight was once it arrived, it's going to be here for pretty much the remainder of the night. How long we wait is anybody's guess, but I guess we'll wait and see if we have a window of opportunity to maybe resume this game. But the forecast certainly was not all that promising. And there you see Brandon Kahnke talking with Ted Barrett, the big man. He's the crew chief. So we'll take a timeout and we'll come back here from now rainy Progressive Field with the Indians on top 6-0.
I mean, they gave up a lot of runs to a team that you have to play pretty good defense again. And it hasn't been that way for the White Sox tonight. Dylan Covey probably his worst start, but he battled his way through 5 innings. And, you know, they were able to peck away. And again, I guess the story, too, the bottom part of the Indians lineup have done a lot of the work tonight.
So Juan Minaya is back out there for Chicago. Usually after a rain delay, you don't see the same guy come back out. He had faced 3 batters. He got the last out of the 6th inning. Faced the first 2 batters here in the 7th, the last of which was Roberto Perez, who doubled to right center field. So he's going to be at second base, and Francisco Lindor will be the batter for the Indians. And we're ready to go. They set a 10-10 restart. By golly, it's 10-10. "35-minute delay." But I guess that's why Minaya is able to come back. It really wasn't that long.
Not too bad.
There was a 2-2 count on Lindor when the tarp was finally pulled. And so now it's 3-2. And he strikes him out. 2 away.
Second strikeout for Minaya. That's that splitter, man, where he gets the guys to swing over the top of it. Bottom falls out of it.
I always thought that's got to be weird for a hitter. You sit around, you wait 35 minutes, you go back out there, and it's a 2-2 count. I mean, you're already in the middle of your at bat. Michael Brantley looks at a first pitch strike.
Yeah, that's even worse than being a pinch hitter, where you go up and at least you get 3 strikes.
Right.
Well, you better be ready to swing is what you better be ready to.
Brantley with a ground ball to first. He kicks off the glove of Abreu, but Michael wasn't running.
He didn't. Did he slip?
Yeah, I think he did something. I don't think he got out of the batter's box. Inning is over. We go to the 8th. 6-0 Cleveland. Right-hander making his 10th appearance of the year. And he's got the bottom part of the lineup. Charlie Tilson, the number 8 hitter, then Adam Engel, the 9 hitter. And we'll turn it over to the top.
Bauer, a nice night. 7 innings, 3 hits. Did not allow a run, a couple of walks, 8 strikeouts. He had 7 0-2, 1-2 counts. Chicago couldn't get a hit with a runner on. So out of the stretch, Bauer was very good. Unfortunately, his string of double-digit strikeouts ends because possibly of this rain. I don't know if they would have brought him back out in a game like this, even if it wasn't raining after 7 with 100 pitches.
Charlie Tilson 0 for 2 tonight. Evan Marshall misses outside, ball 1. Fouled the first base side. Tampa Bay trying to end the Astros' 11-game win streak. They lead 4-3 in the 6th down in Houston. And there's a strike called. It's 1-2. Texas leads Kansas City 5-3. They're in the 6th at Kauffman Stadium. Bartolo Colon pitching in that game for the Rangers. Kansas City has lost 6 in a row. Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 1 away. Coming up tomorrow on the Tribe Report presented by GMC. Andre will talk with Michael and Mickey Brantley. Inside the Park with Tribe photographer Dan Menlick. Plays of the Week presented by GMC. Catch it all tomorrow night right after Indians Live on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Adam Engel 0 for 2. Trying to hold up. They appeal. He did, says Ryan Addington.
The White Sox haven't had a hit since 1 out in the 2nd inning.
A bit outside, 2-1. Two and two. Earlier today, the Washington Nationals went out and traded for Kansas City Royals closer Kelvin Herrera. They gave up 3 prospects in the deal. Nationals began the day 3.5 back of Atlanta in the NL East. They ended a 3-game losing streak by winning the first game of a doubleheader with the Yankees. They lost the nightcap. Ew, he hit him. And still a 1-out base runner for Chicago.
Well, that one got away. Not what you wanted to do. Gets him on the thigh. Engel will take first base. That's the first hitter that Marshall has hit this year.
Yohan Moncada, he singled in the first, he walked in the third, struck out in the 6th inning. Down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slice foul down the left side, out of play. Same 2 teams tomorrow night here at Progressive Field as we continue this 3-game series. It'll be Clevenger and Carlos Rodon matching up tomorrow night.
First batch of rain sent a lot of people home.
Yeah, it's 17,271 here tonight. And it was sweltering at game time. Ripped into right field, a base hit for Moncada. Engel stops at second. 2 on and 1 out.
It's going to be a breaking ball from Marshall, and there it is, stayed right inside. He pulls it into the hole, man on first base. That's what you're trying to do. But couldn't get to third base, so a base knock. First one since the 2nd inning for the White Sox.
Batting down for Chicago, third baseman,
Little time killer meeting at the mound to get somebody up in the Indians bullpen. Hitters are now 7 for 16 when they have runners on base against Marshall. And he's got Yolmer Sanchez now, and he misses down low, ball 1.
Yeah, he's starting to get into the big part of this lineup also.
Neil Ramirez is up for the Indians. Back. Sanchez 0 for 3 on the night. He's been part of a pair of double plays. Back in the first, it was a strike him out, throw him out double play. And then in the third, he grounded into a conventional inning ending double play. Marshall could use a ground ball here. Out of play, 1 and 2.
Well, he got inside with him on a fastball there. The last hit he gave up was on a breaking ball. It wasn't a very good one, but you're right. He'd like to see that ground ball and let his defense turn it.
Instead, it's a line drive single to left. Bad jump by Engel. He'll still wave him home, and he will score.
Well, knowing that it's going to be tough to throw with the moisture on the ball once it gets to the outfielder. So he did not get a good jump. He had to make sure it got over, but Engel runs very well. So by the time Brantley could get to that ball, Capper at third base sends him home, and he beats the throw. It's a little bit offline. So after the walk, a couple of base hits, and the White Sox are on the board.
Now Carl Willis going to make a trip to the mound. 3 straight reaching safely here for Chicago in the 8th with 1 out. By the way, we were talking the other night. Travis Hafner came out of retirement, so to speak, for one day. He played a game with the Lake Erie Crushers.
Did you get any results?
0 for 2 with a walk and scored a run.
Okay.
And evidently his speed when scoring that run kind of messed with the pitcher, because he also reached on an error. The pitcher made an error trying to throw him out at first base.
I was going to say, I thought he scored on a single as fast. He still got the wheels. Way to go, Prong.
And the Lake Erie Crushers won 3-0. So raise money for the local Little League programs. Two on, one out. Jose Abreu 1 for 3 on the night. Missed it off the plate, and now Marshall looks like he's hurt. So that's going to be it for right-hander Evan Marshall. Terry Francona is going to have to make a move to the bullpen. And we'll be right back. Was pitching here in the 8th inning. This was the last pitch he threw. And he winced immediately. Something in the arm did not feel
look at
right.
him shaking it right. Something in that elbow.
So Neil Ramirez on now for the Indians.
Well, he'll get as much time as he needs, but I think he was up and throwing a little bit out in that bullpen before. So he may be ready.
He's not the 3-pitch Santiago, mind you, but.
Well, Santiago was up and throwing over there for an inning also.
Number 79,
Jose Abreu is 1 for 3 on the night.
Still a 2-0 count here.
Fouled off the other way.
Well, he made a good pitch at 2-0 count. He was looking for the first fastball, but he got it up and in on him, where he fought it off the other way, but it was a pretty well located pitch by Ramirez.
that fastball missed up and in. Popped him up on the infield. Lindor calling everybody off. 2 down.
Good pitch. He came back inside, Ramirez did, and had a little something on that pitch. I love it. Inside off the plate. 3-1 count. That would have been ball 4 to Abreu, but he wanted to try and drive him in or hit one right there and got a little too over aggressive and made an out.
Two down. Daniel Palka has struck out twice. He walked his last time up. Fastball up and away. And a foul back, 1-1. Jam job and a nice running catch by Kipnis. Ramirez cleans up the mess and we go to the bottom of the 8th. 6-1 Cleveland. Who was on your right. They'll be the first 2 hitters for the Indians. Joakim Soria on for the 28th time this year for Chicago. He is the 4th White Sox pitcher to work here tonight. The White Sox, I'm looking, they don't give you a breakdown of when they last pitched, huh?
No, they don't.
I don't think he's pitched since he converted his 6th straight save and 10th of the season against the Indians last Thursday.
Okay, because well, they were swept by Detroit after we left.
Or was that Wednesday? Murph said Wednesday. Their notes say Thursday. I should have trusted Murph.
Yes, always trust Murph. We have seen Joakim Soria for a long time in the Central Division with a bunch of different teams. Kansas City, Detroit, Chicago. He's been with teams a couple of different times. But he's been around, and he's been a guy that always seems to throw strikes. You know, he was a very, very good closer. He doesn't come in and walk anybody. He'll pitch in any situation, in any part of the game, you know. So he's been one of those guys that you can really count on out of the bullpen.
Man, early in his career with Kansas City, he was as filthy as they come.
Had ice water in the veins, man.
Just carve him up.
Yeah, that's when he started in Kansas City. He was tough. These are guys that, when you think about it, we've had an opportunity to watch him come in so many times. And even though he's given it up a few times, he's saved many more than what he's given up. But to still be pitching at a quality level and still have enough in that arm to keep throwing.
To left field, and Tilson will make the catch.
Stepping in now for the drive, the designated hitter, Edwin Encarnacion.
And it's funny too, because you know, you were just saying we've seen him for so many years. He's one of those guys who you think he's a lot older than he really is. He's only 33 years old.
Really? Yeah.
Well, let me think. He just turned 34.
Okay.
But you'd think, wow, he's got to be 38, 39, maybe pushing 40.
Years old. That's all right. He's still.
His first year in the big leagues was in '07 with Kansas City. But he's a guy you root for. You want to see him do well because he's overcome so much. Twice, not once, but twice, he's had Tommy John surgery. And I mean, the first time he had it was early in his career. He's in the minor leagues, so you're probably thinking as a kid, man, that's probably it. There's my one shot, just went down the drain. That was back in 2002 is when he blew out his elbow, so he missed all of '03, barely pitched again in '04. But then he started to put it together a little bit, got to the big leagues, had those great years with Kansas City, and then boom, 2012, missed the entire season with Tommy John surgery again. But he came back.
Guys make it through it once and it's something special. You make it through it twice. That's determination.
Alonso pops up on the infield, inning over. We'll go to the ninth, 6-1 Cleveland. Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
It's been that kind of night. It was hot like you read about when this game started. It was 90 degrees, near 95 degrees on the heat index. Then we had a brief 35-minute rain delay. And that didn't happen until the 6th inning. Now here in the ninth, Dan Otero trying to close it out. Indians up 6-1. He's got 5, 6, and 7 due up for Chicago. Kevin Smith, Matt Davidson, Tim Anderson. Kevin Smith 0 for 3 tonight. Last chance for him to extend his 9-game hitting streak. Not going to happen. Lindor throws him out, 1 away. Well, the big story tonight was Trevor Bauer. 7 innings, 3-hit shutout baseball, walked 2, struck out 8.
Yeah, he had it all working again. Good slider, good changeup, the curveball mixed in with his fastball. He's really worked it very well. Only allowed 3 hits. He had 2 in the first inning, and then Trevor was Trevor tonight. And again, he got to that 100 pitch mark. He's thrown 100 pitches in every one of his starts this year. Longest string going.
Let's go, Otero!
Dan Otero facing Matt Davidson. Davidson was the last guy to get a hit off Bauer tonight, and that was back in the 2nd inning. Deep right field, Lonnie Chisenhall looking up. It's gone. Just did clear the wall. And Davidson has his 13th home run of the season. And that makes it a 6-2 ball game.
That goes to show you the power that Davidson has. You find that nitro zone, he can hit it a long way. There it was. It was a sinker down, but it was middle of the plate. He goes down and put a good swing on it. Davidson hits his 13th homer.
Tim Anderson is 0 for 3. He pops one up foul, and that will find the seats. Down on the dirt. He was late swinging, and he's out. 2 down.
Yeah, he threw that 2-seam sinker away. It's tough to get to, boy. Well located there. His first strikeout.
Charlie Tilson is 0 for 3 tonight, has struck out twice. Indians have won 5 out of 7 against Chicago on the year. Trying to maintain their mastery over their division rivals here in the series opener. And the 1-2. Bouncer foul, first base side.
Alonso went down trying to get over there and cover the line, and it was pretty close.
Dan Otero, long look in. He's ready now. Here's the 1-2. Just missed inside. And it's 2-2. Those who have remained groaning, not appreciating Lance Barksdale maintaining his professionalism all the way through this one.
That's right.
The 2-2. Just missed again and a full count. The payoff pitch is a ground ball right back to him. Ah, book him, Dano. The Indians win it by a final score of 6-2. Otero works the ninth, and Trevor Bauer ends up the winner for the Indians. For Trevor Bauer, he goes to 6-5 on the season. And with the win, the Indians are 38-33, and they lead Detroit by 3 full games in the Central Division. The loss goes to Dylan Covey. He's now 3-2, and Chicago falls to 24-47 on the year. Great performance by Trevor Bauer, and the Indians took advantage of some sloppy Chicago defense, got some clutch hits early, and ran away with this one. 6-2 is the final. Back with a final thought right after this.